Emberward. At the time of writing, I have over 20 plus hours in this game across demo and playtest branches. As someone who has had the pleasure of playtesting this game and working closely with Refi, this is a must-have for the tower defense genre. This game is a wonderful mix of both tower defenses, roguelite titles, and puzzles. Yes, this game is in early access. This doesn't not mean that the game is broken and full of bugs, but rather there will just be more content added down the road. Gameplay. The core gameplay revolves around placing various towers along your own maze of blocks. Think Tetris meets tower defense. On top of that, there is a roguelite element in which you have randomized loadouts or starting towers and abilities with you get more of as the game progresses. Each round you will be faced with waves of enemies racing towards your fire, which acts as your life. When monsters reach your fire, you will take damage. Once your fire reaches 0 HP, your run will end. There are two main components into keeping these monsters away: building tiles and towers. Building blocks and towers. Building blocks come in a variety of shapes and sizes, similar to the familiar Tetris shapes. These blocks can be rotated and placed around the playing field to make the paths that the monsters need to take longer and more complicated. Then you can build towers on these placed blocks or on pre-exciting blocks that are placed upon starting the level. These towers come in a variety of sizes, damage types and costs. Most towers can be upgraded as well, leaving you with the decision of whether or not to build even more towers or upgrade the exciting ones. Once you're successfully filled off monsters for X number of rounds, then you will be rewarded with XP, Ember Stones, and potentially new blocks and or buffs. XP Ember Stones. XP is used to buy talents, which you can purchase between rounds to give you permanent buffs to each of your runs. Some of these include shop discounts, active skills such as the ability to unlock a placed block once per game, giving your fire the ability to attack monsters, just to name a few. Ember Stones allow for restoring energy to your fire, or you can use them to purchase upgrades and items at the shop. Boss rounds. At the end of run, you will face the final boss for that world. Here, rounds will play out, and unusual except for the difference. There is a giant buffed monster that you must defeat. The boss can be damaged over the time and will ultimately make its way to your fire over multiple rounds. Graphics. This game features colorful and polished graphics matched with catchy music and sound effects. This game runs flawlessly on both my PC and Steam Deck, without any loss of frames, despite all of the actors on the screen. Accessibility. At the time of review, the game features the following accessibility options: camera shake, a slider to determine the rate of the camera shake, turn off timer, flash intensity, a slider to determine the flash intensity, recall block, choice between long press or the one button press, static background. There are some moving maps such as a train which can be turned to a static background by enabling this option. Replayability in depth. At the start of the run, players get to choose from 3 difficulties: casual, normal and heroic. Then you get to select the world that you will be playing in. Then you once again get more choices, your characters and a fire type. These choices will allow players to challenge themselves or build around their playstyle. Do you want massive blocks? Great, check out Chunk the Builder. Do you want to be able to hoard lots of money to be able to afford some bigger towers and upgrades? Then Silas the Merchant might be your guy. Once choosing the above, you get a pick, a loadout, which determines which different blocks you start with in your deck, as well as a buff that will last the rest of the game. With all these options, it means that each and even every round will be unique and the replayability is endless. This is what happens before when the tower defense game has a baby with Tetris. Since the towers can be placed on exciting walls, the unfullness of the Tetris walls lies in turning your field into a giant maze of pain, given that you can apply buffs to certain blocks. Burning the creeps becomes easier the more you play. However, the creeps also have tricks up their sleeves to make things interesting. Since the Tetris blocks are random, building a maze that looks good can be a bit frustrating, but you will soon learn that the trick is to make it as functional as possible while trying to keep those creeps away from your flame as long as possible. Luckily, you have a plethora of towers to pick from, but don't expect to be able to unlock them all. Aside from that, the artwork is nice and colorful. Also, with certain mobs it's reminiscent of Warcraft 3. The soundtrack is there, I guess. Closing thoughts. This is an outstanding addition to my game library and constantly gets updates. A huge congratulations to Refi for being the only developer working on this game. He responds quickly to all feedback and bug reports and fixes them as soon as possible. If you enjoyed our defense game in any way, I highly recommend picking up this game. This is an outstanding price for this game, in which you will have ultimately replayability and tons of updates too in the future. Happy building!